Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Nick Gaspard here, and today we're going to be talking about how to create passive income with $500. So, first of all, what we're going to talk about is what's passive income. Passive income is basically income that you can create without really doing any work. So, I think a lot of people, when they talk about passive income, they're usually talking about another source of income. So, typically, you would have your job, or your career, and then you would have another source of income on top of that. Some people say real estate is passive income, like rental properties and stuff like that. Me personally, I disagree. I think that, rental properties do create some work, and you have to deal with tenants and credit checks and people tearing your stuff up and, possibly not renting the property out for a few months and stuff like that, it all adds up where, the passive income I'm talking about in this video will be stuff that you really don't have to do anything. Basically, you invest in businesses, they pay you a return, and you get that money for really doing nothing. And, the company already has, CEOs and managers in place that handle all the hard stuff for you, and you just sit back and get a return. So the main way that I want to talk about developing passive income today with $500 would be dividend stocks. Now, in some of my other videos, you've heard me talk about dividend stocks and the benefits and why I believe in them. But the main thing is to develop passive income. So if you're interested, like myself, to create passive income for the long term, I think dividend stocks are the best way to go. So let's say you start off with $500. The first thing you need to do is set up a brokerage account. Personally, I use Fidelity.com. That's who I have an IRA with and a regular brokerage account. But you can use whatever company you want. There's a lot of good brokerage companies out there. You could just Google, buying stocks, brokerage companies, different things. Do your research. Google those companies, read the reviews. Do your homework, maybe talk to a couple of your friends, see if they have a brokerage account. A lot of people are using Robinhood nowadays. There's a lot of different companies out there. A lot of them have no fees. I would look for that, for no trading fees, no commissions, and a lot of companies are doing that right now. So it shouldn't be a problem finding a good brokerage company. So the first thing you do is create an account. Then you'll need to link your bank account to your brokerage account. Then you transfer the $500 into your brokerage account, and then you start buying dividend stocks. So typically a dividend stock is going to pay a dividend of 2 to 7% annually, and most companies will pay that on a quarterly basis. So say if you invested $500 and you got a 5% dividend, or you invested in a company that's paying a 5% dividend, then they would pay you $25 per year. And then if you break that into quarterly, it would be every 3 months, you would get a dividend of around $6.25, I think. So it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you made $25 for not doing anything. Plus you still have your $500 that you originally invested, that typically that's going to grow over time because you've got that invested in a company's stock, a company that you've done your homework, you've done your research, that has grown over time. A lot of these companies have paid dividends over the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years, some of them 50 years. There's dividend aristocrats, there's dividend kings. You can do your homework. There's a bunch of companies out there. And I'll make other videos on dividend stocks that I like, stocks that I invest in. You want to look for a good growth rate, meaning that the dividend's growing over time. That's an important factor. So there's a lot of other factors, but the main thing is just start buying dividend stocks. So with your first $500, you're going to buy $500 worth of dividend stocks. You're going to be making, let's say, I'm just averaging out. Sometimes you'll make a little bit lower than 5%. Sometimes you make a little bit higher. It depends on the company you pick, the ones you invest in. You could invest in a couple different companies. You could break that $500 up. You don't have to invest in just one company, whatever you're comfortable with. But over time, you're going to see that, let's say it's 5%. So next year you'll have $525. You're going to take that $25 profit and you're going to buy some more dividend stocks. So now you're going to get another, whatever the percentage is of that $25 in dividends, Plus, you still got the $525 that you've made that you have invested in stocks, typically increase over time. So you're going to have that appreciation of the stock as well. My goal right now is to develop as much monthly passive income as I can, and I don't want to own 50 different rental properties and have to deal with 50 different tenants. And yeah, I know you can hire a manager and they'll manage it all for you, and you don't have to do anything, and it's so easy. But there are situations where you buy a property that doesn't appreciate over time. Maybe the neighborhood goes bad. There's different things where I would rather just invest in 50 different stocks that I feel comfortable over time. Their value is going to go up. Their dividends going to increase over time. And I'm going to reinvest those dividends over time. And I wish I would have done this sooner, because I've invested in a lot of businesses over the years that failed or didn't work. And, I was always looking for the best way to do stuff. And I invested in a lot of businesses that, I lost money or it didn't work out. Where if I would have had that, I probably lost hundreds of thousands of dollars that if I would have had that money invested in dividend stocks and had that paying dividends over time, that money, the interest compounding annually and growing, I'd be well on my way to my retirement right now, which is fine. I'm still going to get there. Now I have the plan. Now I know what I'm doing. And I want to teach you guys as much as I can how to be smart about things and how to develop as much passive income. So your goal is to have, your primary source of income, whatever your job is, your career, whatever you do primarily. And then one day you want to replace that with passive income. And then you can do other things. You can have other businesses. You could buy businesses. You can invest in businesses, or you could do nothing. I mean, my goal in 10, 15 years is to do nothing. I mean, hopefully I'm still doing YouTube videos. But I have a couple of gyms, I have a couple of businesses that I own, and long term I want to replace that income with passive income and focus on the YouTube. I want to travel, I want to do different things. But anyway, getting back to the point of the video, it's how to develop passive income with $500. So how to do that? We're gonna buy dividend stocks. We're gonna set up a brokerage account with whichever brokerage you want to use. You could use Fidelity.com. That's who I use. Robinhood, whoever you're comfortable with. TD Ameritrade. There's a lot of good companies out there. Do your homework. Do your due diligence. This is very important. So Google it. Read the reviews. Do your homework. Go to the website. Check it out. Some of them might have offers to sign up offers and stuff like that. So do your initial research. Set up a brokerage account. Link it to your bank account, transfer whatever amount of money you feel comfortable starting off with, put it in there, and then start researching the dividend stocks that you want to buy. There's a lot of good companies out there. Typically, you're going to look for 3 to 5% dividend. You want to see a good annual growth rate. Typically, I look at the 5-year annual growth rate. Like to see that, high single digits, 6, 7% over the last 5 years. Higher, it could be better. So there's a lot of good YouTube videos on dividend stocks, the ones to invest. I recommend checking those out. Doing your research. Buy a couple books, read up on dividend stocks, what they are, how they work, and then over time you're going to develop companies that you feel comfortable investing in. And I promise you, once you see those dividends start going directly into your account and you didn't do anything, it's the greatest thing ever. I mean, I think I got like $50 deposited on Monday this week that I didn't do anything for that. So I just started doing this, buying the dividend stocks at the beginning of the year. And my monthly income's already up to about $300 a month in, dividend stock income that I don't do anything for that $300. No, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's going to keep growing. I'm going to keep reinvesting that money each month, and I'm going to keep investing some of my own money from my businesses and purchasing stocks. My goal with the YouTube channel is to develop some passive income there, where some people might say that's not passive, but I consider it passive because it's not a business that I have to deal with customers. And well, I do have to deal with some customers, but I don't have to deal with a lot of customers like a gym and different headaches that you have with a brick and mortar business. So I'm looking at that as extra income that I'm just going to invest that income directly into dividend stocks so I can retire sooner one day. And you'll see those amounts are going to grow and they're going to get really large over time. and you're going to thank me, and you're going to be like, man, I'm glad I watched this video. I'm glad I listened to this guy. I don't know what he's talking about. Passive income, $500. I know it seems like a little bit of a bait and switch, but the $500 is just to get you started. And it's not going to develop, retirement income, but it's going to get you started. You're going to see how easy it is. You're going to see how simple it is. It's way better than just putting that money in a bank account, just letting it sit there and watching it in a bank account. Oh, I got $5,000 in my bank account. Oh, I got $10,000 in my bank account, which I used to do that all the time. But that money's not really doing anything for you. It might be getting you a really, really low interest rate in a savings account or whatever, but you can get a 5%, rate. You can get a 10% rate, if you add up the appreciation of the stock and the dividend. I mean, you're on most stocks, you're probably going to be making about 7 to 10%, a return per year on these stocks. That if you keep doing that annually and you keep growing it, you're going to be well on your way to retiring and having a nice retirement income or passive income. And it's going to get you started investing in stocks and dividends and seeing how they work. So basically, just to recap, how to take $500 and start developing passive income is to buy dividend stocks, set up a brokerage account, start doing your research on dividend stocks, what they are, how they work, and just go from there. Another good stock too that people like are index funds. So you can do your research on index funds. Those are really good stocks too. They're very safe, they're very secure, they're working really well right now. It's just your preference. I like dividend stocks. I want to see some type of cash return go directly deposited into my account. The good thing about the dividend stocks is whether the stock's up or down, you're still getting a return every quarter. The stock could be down 20%, but typically you're still going to get that dividend as long as the company doesn't cut their dividend, which we could talk about that in another video too. But anyway, I recommend spacing out your investments into different companies, diversifying, not having more than 5% into one company, so you're kind of spread out in case something does happen with one company. But anyway, that's how you're going to start. You're going to start with $500 into dividend stocks, start to see those returns, and then you start to reinvest those returns, and that money is going to start to grow, and it's going to be way better than just putting it in a savings account or just letting it sit there, and you're going to see that grow. So hope this video was helpful. Please hit the like button if you liked it. Please comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be bringing more videos. I'm just getting started, and if you guys have any questions or anything else you want to talk about, any other videos, leave a comment below. I'll try to get around to it, and hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.